This message isn't just from heaven, it's from the highest guardian of your heart, Archangel Michael himself. There comes a moment when heaven stops whispering and begins calling your name aloud. And this is that moment. Not because you're in danger. Not because you're late. But because something divine has been circling your life and your spirit is finally quiet enough to feel it. God is saying, I've been trying to reach you. Not with punishment. Not with fear. But with something unexpected. Something beautiful. Something you didn't ask for, but your heart still needs. 30 minutes remain, not for disaster, but for destiny to knock one more time. You keep thinking you'll open that message tomorrow, revisit that prayer later, sit with yourself next week, but heaven is speaking in the now. Because the blessing that's approaching is sensitive to your timing, and this time, you're not supposed to miss it. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. God isn't frustrated with you. He's longing for you. He knows how many times you've skipped over the signs, not because you're careless, but because you've been tired. Distracted. Disappointed by things that didn't happen the way you imagined. But while you were scrolling, doubting, surviving, God was aligning. The right people. The right moment. The right door. And now, as the seconds slip into something holy, He's saying, please, don't skip this one. This time, the unexpected is not loss, it's release. It's not delay, it's divine timing. It's not another lesson, it's the beginning of a long-awaited answer. You've questioned so much lately. Your energy. Your path. Your capacity to keep going when your heart feels worn thin. But God saw it all. He watched you show up anyway. He saw you carry others when you had no one to carry you. He saw you plant seeds with nothing left in your own garden. And heaven didn't ignore your effort. It held your reward in reserve, waiting for the moment your faith would open just enough for it to be delivered. And that moment is here. Not tomorrow. Not when things calm down. Now. In this moment of divine interruption. In this sacred silence between distraction and destiny. In this last stretch before the clock moves and the atmosphere shifts again. 30 minutes. That's all heaven is giving this portal of release. Not because it wants to pressure you, but because certain moments are anointed, and this one was set aside for you long before your doubt was born. This message didn't find you by accident. You didn't scroll here on your own. You were led. Chosen. Called into awareness by the one who sees every tear you never spoke out loud. And He's asking, not demanding, but deeply asking, will you finally open what I've been trying to show you? Will you stop brushing off the tug in your chest? Will you pause long enough to receive what can't be forced? Will you trust that this time, it's not just another delay? It's divine direction. You don't need all the details. You don't need to understand why now. You only need to respond. Because the unexpected that's coming isn't random, it's precise. It's connected to the prayers you prayed long ago and forgot about. It's tied to your next chapter. It's the answer arriving in a form you didn't recognize. This isn't a warning. This is a whisper. A last call from the heavens that love you too much to let you miss what's already on the way. So slow down. Breathe. Let your spirit sit still long enough to receive. The clock is ticking, but the miracle is already near. You have no idea how many times heaven has paused everything just to wait on your heart to be still. The angels have hovered over you in silence, not to protect you from enemies alone, but to protect you from missing moments like this. This is not just another scroll, another sentence, another piece of content that fades into your memory. This is divine contact. God is not shouting at you in anger, He is whispering with urgency. You keep skipping me, He says, not because you don't love me, but because you don't recognize how close I am when you're tired, how loud I speak in your silence, how much I've already placed in your path, and you keep overlooking it because it didn't arrive the way you expected. But this time, something is different. This time, something unexpected is coming, not as chaos, not as correction, but as a sudden softness, a financial shift, a relational restoration, an inner clarity so profound that it makes everything that confused you finally make sense. God has been writing something into the pages of your life that no human hand could have written. The very things you thought were distractions were actually detours meant to save your soul from what would have harmed it. The people who exited without warning, the plans that fell apart without closure, the places that dried up without cause. They were not signs of abandonment. They were signs of alignment. Because God knew that if you got too comfortable where you were, you would have missed where He was taking you. That's why this moment feels different in your chest. That's why something inside of you won't let this message go. It's because heaven is pushing on your spirit gently, saying, please, this time, don't skip this. Don't let this slip into the background of your life like every other moment you rushed past. Pause. Sit with me. Listen. This is about trust now. Trust that what you feel is real. Trust that what you sense isn't just emotion, it's activation. You're not crazy for feeling like something is coming. You're not imagining the shift in the air, the pull in your gut, the soft pressure behind your eyes. That's not anxiety, it's awareness. Your spirit knows something is arriving. Something rare. Something specific. Something that has your name woven into it. And the reason it hasn't come sooner is not because you were unworthy, but because heaven has been preparing a landing place for it inside you. You've had to clear out old beliefs. You've had to release old timelines. You've had to break out of old patterns. But now, you're open. Now, you're soft enough. Now, you're surrendered enough to receive what's on the way, and it won't look like what you expected. It may come through a voice you never considered. Through a person you least expect. Through a door you almost closed. Through a message like this, buried in the noise of everyday scrolling. But it's not noise. This is divine rhythm. The beat of heaven knocking in sync with your pulse. And you feel it now, don't you? That pressure building, not to rush, but to receive. That feeling of, I don't know what it is, but I know something's coming. Yes. That's not your imagination. That's spiritual alignment. God is saying, I've been closer than your breath. And I'm not upset you skipped the signs. But this one? I need you to see it. I need you to open it. I need you to pause your day and let me have your full attention. Because this time, what I'm sending is going to touch your reality. And all it takes is a yes. Not a loud one. Not a perfect one. Just a small surrender in the secret places of your heart. A whisper that says, God, I'm here. I won't run this time. I won't skip you this time. Speak. Because when you say that, something activates. Something in the heavens moves toward you. And what's coming next will feel like a miracle, but really, it's just the result of you finally standing still long enough to catch what's been flying toward you all along. You've become so used to waiting that you've forgotten what it feels like to be chosen in real time. But this is not a rehearsal. This is not another season of delay or a lesson wrapped in pain. This time, God is not testing you, He is timing you. Because what's coming next isn't just unexpected, it's tailor-made for the version of you that's been silently maturing in the background. The version of you that cried through closed doors and praised through invisible progress. The version of you that broke in private, rebuilt in silence, and kept walking even when you didn't know if anything was shifting. And now the heavens are saying, you didn't skip me this time. You opened the message. You paused. You listened. Now watch what happens next. This is what divine alignment feels like. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just undeniable. The kind of stillness where you don't need outside confirmation because your spirit already knows. The kind of peace that wraps itself around your chest before the evidence even appears. And God is moving through that atmosphere right now, not to overwhelm you, but to remind you that the unexpected thing that's coming has already been assigned to your name. You are not praying for something that doesn't exist. You are preparing for something that has already been written, already designed, already sealed in heaven with your name in gold ink. And for every time you skipped past the signs, for every time you doubted the voice, God didn't remove the blessing, He just waited until you were still enough to notice. You don't need to chase this. You don't need to prove you're ready. You don't need to fast-track your healing or figure out how everything will fall into place. You just need to remain open. Because it's already near. It's already moving. And it's not coming to tease you, it's coming to shift you. You've been asking for answers, but God is giving you something better, awareness. The awareness that the right things show up when your soul is finally ready to recognize them. The awareness that skipping divine nudges won't cancel your destiny, but it might delay the peace that comes when you finally say yes without resistance. This is a sacred warning, not of danger, but of divine precision. God is saying, I've been tapping on your heart over and over. And this time, I made sure the message was clear. I made sure you couldn't miss it. I made sure the timing would be so specific, so impossible to ignore, that your spirit would finally rise up and say, this is for me. And it is. This is for you. Not for the version of you that pretends everything's fine. Not for the one that performs for others. For the quiet you. The real you. The you who's been waiting to exhale. This is your exhale moment. The moment where you don't need to hold it together anymore. Because something holy is holding you. And it's bringing with it provision, peace, direction, and the kind of clarity that makes everything you've been carrying finally feel lighter. So don't rush out of this space. Don't scroll past the sacred. Stay with this feeling. Let it wash over you. Let it speak to the parts of you that haven't been spoken to in a long time. Let it heal the places you forgot were still wounded. Because what's coming isn't just unexpected, it's personal. It's not generic blessing. It's a customized reminder that even when you skipped the message, even when you ignored the voice, even when you thought you missed your moment, God never skipped you. He never overlooked you. He never withheld what was yours. He just waited for your full presence. And now that you've finally arrived in this moment, so has your breakthrough. God has been standing at the threshold of your life, waiting patiently for you to open the door you've been hesitant to walk through. Not because you weren't ready, but because you didn't fully trust that what was waiting for you was worth the leap. Every moment you felt stuck, you've been standing at the entrance of your new beginning, looking at it from a distance, wondering if you should take that step. You've asked, what if I don't succeed? What if it's not what I thought it would be? What if I miss my chance? And God has been waiting not to push you, but to guide you gently, patiently, with unwavering love. You've asked for clarity, for direction, and He has been answering, sending signs through your thoughts, your dreams, and even through the moments of peace you've overlooked. He's been calling you, quietly and consistently, waiting for you to open the door that leads to everything you've been praying for. You keep looking around, wondering why others seem to walk effortlessly into their blessings. You keep questioning why the doors for you don't open the same way, why the opportunities for others seem to fall into place so easily. But God is showing you something different. He's showing you that what's coming for you is not a temporary blessing, it is permanent. What He has in store for you isn't just for today, it is for tomorrow, for the next chapter, and for every generation that comes after you. This is not a coincidence. This is divine timing. And heaven has been holding this moment for you, waiting for the right time to deliver what's been set aside for you since before you were born. You've been waiting for the sign that tells you it's time to move, but the sign has always been with you. It's been in your heart, the quiet nudge that tells you not to settle. The peace that rises when you consider your next step. The excitement mixed with fear that tells you it's time to stretch. And now that time has arrived. The moment of waiting is over. The hesitation is gone. And heaven is telling you, this is your moment. You've been through too much to stay in the place of uncertainty. You've come too far to keep looking back. The last few years have been about finding yourself, discovering your strength, and learning to trust that what's meant for you will find you, even when you don't know where it's coming from. And now it's coming. It's coming in ways you didn't imagine, in forms you didn't expect, but it's here. Heaven is calling you into a place of divine rest, not because the work is done, but because the reward is here. This is the moment when everything you've worked for is about to align. When everything you've prayed for is about to be made manifest. When you will no longer have to strive, because the grace of God will move you forward with ease. But receiving this blessing isn't about effort, it's about trust. Trust that God has already gone before you. Trust that the timing was always perfect, even when you couldn't see it. Trust that the money, the opportunity, the peace, the healing, and the relationships are all coming in the right order. And the only thing that remains is for you to open the door and walk through. Don't hesitate. Don't second guess. Don't overthink. Just walk, with faith and confidence, into the future God has been preparing for you all along. God is calling you to receive the very thing you've been waiting for. It's time to stop wondering if you deserve it. It's time to stop doubting whether you are enough. You are. You always have been. Everything you've been through was preparation. Every tear, every hardship, every setback, was preparing you for what you're about to step into. It was never meant to break you, it was meant to build you. And now, the moment is here. The moment when everything aligns. The moment when you finally open your hands and allow God to pour into your life everything He has been holding back until you were ready to receive it. You've grown through things that would have crushed the version of you from years ago, and heaven has witnessed every silent transformation. You didn't need to announce your struggle for it to be valid. God saw it all. The nights you sat awake, not knowing what tomorrow would look like. The mornings you rose with strength that didn't come from sleep, but from grace. The times you smiled in front of people who didn't know you were breaking. And He wrote those moments into your story, not to glorify the pain, but to build a platform for the promise. Because now, in this divine hour, you are ready to receive not just a breakthrough, but an entirely new season. A season that doesn't look like stress. A season that doesn't carry the echo of almost. This is your yes. This is your full circle moment. And God is whispering again, you didn't miss it. You're just in time. You may not realize it, but every delay had design. Every person who didn't choose you, every plan that didn't unfold, every job you lost, every closed door, it wasn't punishment, it was positioning. You were being hidden in plain sight until the right moment. Until the right people. Until the exact alignment of time and spirit. And now heaven is leaning toward you, not to give you another test, but to deliver the reward for your consistency in the dark. You weren't loud about your pain. You didn't manipulate to be seen. You didn't beg for validation. You just kept showing up. And God says, now, I'm showing up for you. This time, it won't require hustle. It won't require you to chase what's yours. You don't need to force the door open when God has the master key. You don't need to prove your worth to people who were never meant to carry your vision. You don't need to exhaust yourself trying to be understood. You only need to stay open. Stay in position. Stay in faith. Because what's coming next isn't something you could have orchestrated, it's orchestrated by heaven itself. This is the divine suddenly. The unexpected release. The provision that doesn't make sense. The message that shows up exactly when your spirit whispered, God, if you're still with me, show me. And He is. And this is that moment. Don't let your past disappointments teach you how to expect less. Don't shrink your belief just to protect yourself from future hurt. What happened before is not a prophecy of what will happen again. You've grown. You've shifted. You've healed. And the version of you now is ready to hold what would have overwhelmed you in a previous season. You're not fragile. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're right where you need to be. And if God allowed the clock to keep running, it's only because He was aligning your capacity with your calling. And now, they match. Now, you're in sync. Now, heaven and earth are speaking the same language about your name. This message didn't come to beg for your attention. It came to awaken your awareness. That stillness you feel? That pause in your chest? That heat behind your eyes? That's not emotion. That's alignment. That's your spirit saying, "This is for me." That's your breakthrough tapping at your soul like a familiar voice calling you home. And you don't need to analyze it. You only need to receive it. No more second guessing. No more playing small. No more watering down your anointing to keep others comfortable. You've waited in the background long enough. Now the curtain lifts. Now the stage shifts. Now the light turns and points directly at you, not for show, but for fulfillment. Because this isn't your trial season. This is your testimony season. The moment you tell your story and the atmosphere shifts. The moment your yes causes doors to swing open in places your name has already been spoken in favor. The moment you look back and realize, every moment of silence, every unanswered prayer, every tearful surrender, it was never wasted. It was all working together to prepare you for this. And now it's here. The message. The moment. The release. Please, don't skip this time. Please, stay with it. Because God never skipped you. And He never will. There is something holy about how God waits for you. Not with punishment in His eyes or frustration in His tone, but with a quiet kind of love that lingers even when you turn away. He doesn't pull His presence when you get distracted. He doesn't revoke the promise when you forget to pray. Instead, He patiently circles your name, weaving breakthrough through your brokenness, placing provision inside the very path you've been hesitant to take. You've skipped Him, yes. But you've never been skipped by Him. And now, as time narrows and the atmosphere sharpens, He leans in again, not with pressure, but with presence. There's still time, He says. There's still room. And there's still something I want to give you if you'll pause long enough to receive it. Because what's coming next isn't born of striving. It's born of surrender. This isn't the kind of blessing you work to earn, it's the kind you grow into. The kind you become. Soft enough to hold. The kind you become humble enough to carry. You're not here because you've done everything right. You're here because, in every moment you were about to give up, something deeper inside you refused to let go. And heaven saw that. Heaven honored that. And heaven built something for that version of you, the one who worshipped quietly while your heart was heavy, the one who didn't need applause to stay faithful, the one who kept going when there was no guarantee that the page would turn. But now it is turning. And the next chapter isn't written in pain, it's written in promise. You won't have to wonder anymore whether you're seen. You won't have to fight for scraps of recognition. You won't have to keep pretending that silence means you were forgotten. Because this time, the unexpected thing that's coming is visibility. You will be seen. Not just by people, but by purpose. The very doors that once overlooked you will now open because your spirit has aligned with timing. And when you step through, you won't be walking in with empty hands. You'll be walking in with every lesson, every scar, every prayer, every stretch of faith that brought you here. You won't have to perform. You won't have to prove. You'll only have to be who you became when no one else was watching. And yes, your life will change. But not in chaos. In calm. Not in noise. In knowing. God is not trying to disrupt your peace. He's trying to deliver your portion. The portion that belongs to you. The one that couldn't come until you finally let go of needing to control everything. The one that's been waiting until you stopped shrinking your soul to fit places that were never built to carry the fullness of your calling. And now that you've released what no longer fits, the blessing that does is finding its way to you. You're not being hunted by fear anymore, you're being followed by favor. And it's showing up in ways you didn't plan. That's why it feels unexpected. That's why it doesn't look like what you thought. Because this isn't your plan, it's God's. And His plan always delivers more than you knew to ask for. So what do you do now? You stay open. You stay ready. You speak life, even when your voice trembles. You take the step, even when your knees feel weak. You believe again, not because everything makes sense, but because your soul refuses to stay asleep. You are being reawakened. Repositioned. Realigned. And the moment you said yes to this message, something shifted. You may not feel it in your body, but heaven felt your yes in your spirit. And now things are moving. Quietly. Swiftly. Supernaturally. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. But it is undeniable. The same way the sunrise doesn't ask permission to shine, your next season is rising, and you don't have to force it. You only have to face it. Because there are less than 30 minutes left in this holy window. Not to panic, but to prepare. God isn't holding a countdown over your head. He's holding an open door in front of your spirit. And He's saying, if you'll walk through now, you won't have to beg later. If you'll trust me now, you'll rest in what I release. If you'll stay still just a little longer, I'll pour out more than you were even brave enough to pray for. This is the promise. This is the moment. This is the beginning of the unexpected. This moment isn't random. It's not accidental that you paused here, not chance that your eyes are locked on this message. You are standing inside of an invisible appointment, a divine alignment wrapped in stillness. God is not chasing you to scold you. He's chasing you to remind you, you are not forgotten. You are not late. You are not lost. You've simply been too distracted to recognize the nearness of what has always been assigned to you. You've skipped the signs, not because you are careless, but because you've been carrying too much. Your heart has been heavy with the weight of past delays, missed chances, and quiet disappointments. And God has seen it all. He's seen the silent frustration, the internal questioning, the way you keep smiling through your storms and clapping for others while wondering if anyone will ever celebrate you the same way. And now he says, enough pretending. Enough hiding. The time for hiding is over. What's next cannot be skipped. Because what's coming is not waiting for a more perfect version of you. It's not arriving when you're more prepared or more popular or more polished. It's arriving now because your spirit has ripened. Your obedience, even when uncertain, has matured something holy inside you. You don't see it yet, but heaven has taken note. Every time you responded with grace when anger made more sense. Every time you stayed silent when you could have defended yourself. Every time you gave when it would have been easier to keep. You thought no one noticed. But heaven noticed. And now, heaven is responding. Not with more tests, but with a tangible answer. The unexpected kind. The type that doesn't knock politely, it just appears, and you know it's God because there's no other explanation. This is not the season to overthink. This is the season to overflow. God is not asking for more of your effort. He's asking for more of your trust. He's not requesting your performance, he's requiring your permission. Will you allow him to move without needing to know every detail? Will you let go of the blueprint long enough to receive the blessing? You don't need the full picture. You just need the faith to believe that if he brought you this far, he has no intention of leaving you stranded. What's about to happen is not sudden to him. It's been building. Quietly. Strongly. Unseen. But now it's surfacing. Now it's opening. Now it's arriving. And the only thing he's asking is, will you open it before it passes by again? Don't let fear convince you that you're not ready. Readiness doesn't mean you feel calm, it means you trust even when you don't. And God is trusting you. He's trusting that you've grown enough to not sabotage what's next. He's trusting that you've healed enough to not bleed on your blessings. He's trusting that you've let go of enough toxic voices to now hear him clearly. Because what he's about to place in your hands isn't small. It's heavy with purpose. It's sacred. And it's personal. He's not giving you leftovers. He's giving you what was made for you. And you'll know it's yours because peace will come with it, not performance. Doors will open, not because you knocked harder, but because the room was waiting for you. So pause right here. Breathe in this moment. Feel the divine energy shifting around you. You don't have to chase what's yours. You don't have to beg heaven to see you. It already has. You are not being skipped, you are being positioned. You are not being denied, you are being refined. And what's coming next will look nothing like the past. It will feel like everything finally caught up. It will feel like restoration. It will feel like God didn't just hear you, he was answering all along, in his way, at his pace, through doors you never even thought to knock on. And when it arrives, you won't have to force it. You'll just know. This was worth the wait. This was worth the pain. This was the reason you couldn't settle, couldn't quit, couldn't silence that whisper inside that kept saying, something is still coming. Don't give up yet. And now it's here. Don't skip it. Not this time. There is a sound in the spirit realm right now that only those who are still enough can hear. It's not loud, but it's heavy. It's not urgent, but it's precise. It is the sound of something long delayed now arriving. It is the soft thunder of answered prayers being lowered into your life without announcement. And it's happening because you finally paused. Because this time, you didn't skip the whisper. You stopped. You listened. You opened. And heaven has moved. Not because you were perfect. Not because you had everything figured out. But because your heart said yes. Not the loud kind. Not the public kind. But the quiet, honest, private yes that only God hears. The one that says, I'm tired of pretending. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of skipping the moments that were meant for me. I'm ready now. And that yes, spoken in the secret space of your heart, has done something irreversible. It has shifted the weight of delay. It has broken the pattern of waiting. It has cleared the static of self-doubt. You don't need to do anything else now. You don't need to prove your faith with more striving. You don't need to earn this next season with suffering. All you need to do is stay in position. Because what's coming is already in motion. What's coming is already moving in your direction. What's coming has your name on it, and no one else can take it. You were never in competition. You were never behind. You were simply being prepared to carry a blessing without leaking under the pressure. And now you can. Now you will. The 30-minute window wasn't about scaring you. It was about showing you how sacred this timing really is. There are moments when heaven releases things that don't wait for you to be ready, they wait for you to be willing. And you're willing now. Willing to be seen. Willing to be stretched. Willing to stop hiding behind your fear. Willing to stop calling your calling too much. You're not too sensitive. You're not too late. You're not too small. You are the right voice, in the right season, in the right body, in the right moment. And God chose you not because of your resume, but because of your resilience. Because of your refusal to break when everything around you told you to quit. Because of your consistency in dark places. Because of your praise when there was nothing left to hold on to but Him. And now, heaven is rewarding what others never saw. You didn't post about it. You didn't market it. You didn't beg to be understood. But God understood. He understood the cost. He understood the weight. He understood the nights when your body was present but your mind was scattered. He understood when you whispered, God, I just need one more sign. And this message, this exact moment, is that sign. Not a warning. A reminder. A gentle, urgent invitation, don't skip this. Because the thing you thought was far away, it's not far anymore. It's in the room. It's in the atmosphere. It's in your spirit. And you can feel it. That shift in your breath. That fire in your chest. That unexpected peace that says, it's really happening. So let it. Let it unfold. Let it surprise you. Let it bless you without needing to explain how. Let it flow into your hands without guilt. Let it show you how wrong your doubt was. Let it teach you that God doesn't skip those who skip messages, He just keeps loving them until they slow down enough to receive. And now you have. Now you're here. And now the blessing begins. Don't go back to your old rhythm after this. Don't fall back into skipping signs. Let this be the shift. Let this be the space where everything inside of you realigned. Where everything outside of you began to respond. Where prayers became presence. Where hope became reality. You've stepped into the center of a divine intersection, and what's coming won't knock again, it will just enter. Stay open. Stay soft. Stay surrendered. The unexpected is no longer coming. It's here.